everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for this video, I'm going to be doing a first impressions video of the new NYX Total Control Total Drop Foundation. So this foundation has been super hyped up on all social media platforms. I've seen it all over YouTube, all over Instagram. I haven't really seen anyone like freaking out saying that it's like the best foundation that they've ever used. I've just been seeing a lot of people using it. So I picked it up whenever it first came out and I just honestly forgot about it. It kind of sat in the bag and I haven't really cleaned my beauty room since yesterday. So I honestly kind of forgot that I had it and I decided to pull it out and give it a try once I remembered that I had it. So in this video, I literally just did my foundation using this and concealer and stuff like that. And then at the end, I talked about how I felt like all of my other makeup went on top of the foundation, kind of how it sat after I gave it a little bit of time. So yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and let's just jump right in. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Meet Makeup Diamond Heart Primer just because my skin has been really super dry lately and I want to make sure that I have a good base before I try a new foundation. So I'm just warming this up in between my hands and then pressing it into the skin. And then I'm just going to blend it into the skin. This is actually perfect timing for me to be doing a foundation review because my skin has really, or like a first impressions, because my skin has really been breaking out lately. So I'll definitely be able to see how it covers up my acne. But this is what the little jar looks like right here. It comes with a little rubber top that has a dropper. I have seen on Instagram and different tutorials that it is very, very watery. And the idea is that it's buildable. So if you use just a couple of drops, you're going to have more of like a very sheer coverage. Whereas like the more drops you use, that's kind of like how you get more coverage. So I'm going to be mixing this with the Cover FX Custom Enhancing Drops. This one is in the shade Sunlight. I just want to see kind of how it mixes with other liquid products, and I've been using this a lot, so I definitely want to make sure that it mixes well with the other products that I have. So now that I've shaken it up, I'm going to take a couple of drops and put it onto the back of my hand like that. And then I'm going to mix some of the custom drops with it. Okay, so on the back of my hand, it is mixing up really well with the custom drops. We will see how it applies. I'm using my Makeup Geek stippling brush just to kind of dip into the product. And then I'm going to dab it onto my cheeks. Okay. So this shade is definitely super light on my face, but it matches my neck. I got a lighter shade because I have heard that this foundation does oxidize, and I always prefer to have my foundation be lighter than darker just because that is going to be easier to fix. You can't kind of like reverse a darker foundation. You know, you can always warm up your skin with bronzer and stuff like that. So first impressions so far is that on my acne area, I do have like extremely, extremely dry skin right now, but it is kind of like just getting a little bit cakey around that area. I'm going to apply a little bit more foundation. I'm going to just kind of like drop it on like that, because this is what I've been seeing a lot of the other girls do. And I just got a whole bunch on my shirt. Of course that would happen, right? Okay. So it's not really, it's just not blending out very well. I don't know. I don't know, guys. It's just not covering up a whole lot, and it's not it's just getting like really flaky around my chin area. I'm looking in my viewfinder right now and it just, I don't know. I'm not really digging it right now. This is kind of really disappointing, but we'll see. It just, I don't know. Maybe because the shade is like a little too light for me. But do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't look good. Like my other foundations, when I put them on, it's like, okay, my skin looks a lot better. Whereas this is kind of making my skin look worse. So I'm just, I don't know. Okay, so this is kind of what it's looking like. I'm going to apply some under eye concealer just to kind of see how this is going to work. I don't know. First impression right now is I'm just like, oh, I'm not really digging this, you guys. So for my concealer, I'm taking the Wet n Wild Cover All Concealer just for underneath my eyes. And then I'm going to go over top of that with the NYX HD Concealer just because this one is a little bit darker than my skin tone. Maybe it'll look better once it starts to oxidize. I can kind of see it changing a little bit right now. I'm genuinely hoping that it will get better because I didn't keep the receipt and I didn't keep the outer packaging for it either. So I really want to be able to take this back if it's like just terrible. And I'm just using a little tiny beauty sponge to blend that in. Okay, now the foundation is starting to look better on my skin. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that, but it's like setting better than it did whenever I first applied it, which is kind of nice. I'm trying to be like super hopeful that this is going to work out in my favor, but we'll see. I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup and then I will be back. I'm going to wait about like, you know, a little while just so I can kind of see how it sets on the skin, and then I'll be able to give more of a review for you guys. Okay, so now that I've had a little bit of time to kind of just see how it sits on my face, and after I applied the rest of my makeup, I can say that the rest of my makeup applied really, really well. It wasn't like the foundation made my contour or blush or highlight go on patchy or anything like that. It's oxidizing to my actual skin tone, which I think is really nice. You know, whenever you get a lighter shade and it turns into kind of more of your shade. So I do appreciate that. However, I will say that it is really, really dry around the areas where I'm suffering from acne right now. It's a little bit dry around my hormonal nostril area. Other than that, it's not really showing any sort of patchiness or anything like that. It does give a really nice kind of like semi-satin matte finish. It's not super, super matte, but it's also not dewy by any means. It's just kind of a natural finish. So I guess I would probably say that this foundation is okay. You know, it was not very expensive at all. You know, it was, I want to say like, I think it was like $7 or something like that. I'll have it listed down below so that you guys can actually see how much it costs. But it wasn't very expensive. I know it's going, you know, crazy on all social media platforms right now. A lot of people are using it. But yeah, so it's not like a total bust. Would I spend like $40 on this like I have my high-end foundations? Absolutely not. You know, I spent just a couple of dollars on this, I think less than 10. So yeah, it's okay. It's definitely not my favorite foundation. I'll probably end up using it more just to kind of see how I like it. Sometimes certain foundations don't go on as well with like a stippling brush as they do with a damp beauty sponge. So I might just need to change up my technique. But first impression is it's okay. If you do suffer from dry patches or if you have acne, it's not going to be like the perfect coverage for that. It's going to cover up your redness, but it's not going to give like a really beautiful finish if you suffer from dry, patchy skin or from acne. So I will say that. All in all, it's not terrible first impression. It's just okay. You know, there are some good things, some not so good things. So it just depends. Wasn't very expensive. You know, in my mind, this is kind of like a typical drugstore foundation. You know, a lot of drugstore foundations, you know, aren't really that great. I really prefer mascaras, eyeshadows, lipstick, stuff like that from the drugstore. Those products just tend to be better, but for some reason, it's just really hard for drugstore like brands to come out with really amazing, like blow me away foundations. So yeah, you know, it's a difficult thing to achieve for a very affordable price, but it's okay. So yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this first impressions video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys soon.